everybody. Welcome to another episode of Between the Sheets here on United Broadcasting Network. I'm Gaye Ann Bruno. Follow me on Instagram, QTE Brat, and please like our Facebook page, Between the Sheets Podcast. We also have a YouTube channel, Between the Sheets with Gaye Ann Bruno. I know we're off a week, and probably you're all very confused, but last Friday I had to cancel. I've been doing my show off and on since 2009, and I never cancel. The show must go on, but my cat had kidney failure, so I was otherwise preoccupied and didn't really feel like I could do a good show or give you guys a proper show since I just was not focused. So I asked the ladies, I know it's an off week, but who can come by tonight? We're also going to do an hour show only this evening, and then next week we'll be on again. So just in case the confusion, we'll go back to the first and third Friday of every month. Please,
depending on the cats, of course.
Depending on the cats.
Yes.
Good news, Willie. I took him today. He's, got chronic kidney disease, and he's an older cat. But, I asked the vet straight out, and I trust this vet, Media City Animal Hospital, Dr. Liz. And she's known me for 20 years. And I asked her, is it time? And she said, no. It's his first bout. So, please prayers. Thank you for all your prayers and good wishes and good vibes over Facebook and Instagram for Willie. The power of positive thinking does work. So keep him going because he's not out of the woods yet. But I do so appreciate all of you. I was really down there. I never disconnect. I usually talk things out. And I guess one day I just turned off my phones and turned off everything, which I have not done in forever. And I just needed to sort of just stop. And so all of you who called me that I didn't get back to you, I have a list, I promise, that I will call you all back. But I just want to say thank you because sometimes, and I've got a lot of friends and I've got a lot of friends that I call family and just the outpour of when you're feeling like shit and depressed, it just makes you have hope. So thank you all. So further ado, that's the Willie update. I wanted to say the ladies that I have in the house tonight. Cheryl, she's also having some cat issues. She was going to be here. So prayers and best wishes and positive vibes go out to Cheryl and her baby. Mara was going to be here tonight, but she got her first COVID shot yesterday. So she's doing better, just a little under the weather. They say the young ones, they get symptoms more, and she's a young one. Let's see who else. Kim was going to come tonight, but it's her daughter's birthday. So family comes first. But nonetheless, I have an amazing bunch of women here tonight. Some of them are repeat offenders. And then Ronnie, who she'll give her own spiel because I'm brain dead. We'll get to Ronnie. Ronnie is a guest, and hopefully she'll be a rotating co-host with us in the future. So let's start with the Queen of England, at least my version of England, Cara Noble. How have you been, my love?
My love. I also have a crotchety old cat that wanders around my house. He's 18 now, but I think he might have Catsburgers because...
What's that?
Well, it's cat's Asperger's.
It's Asperger's, but from a cat's point of view.
He's gone quite loopy. He does tend to crap in strange corners. So we love our cats, and we have to love them through the end.
Through the end, we are there.
And then the Queen of England, Meghan Markle, but I'd talk about it, but we might want to think about discussing that.
I will say that it depends on what's discussed. I will either participate or not participate. I will allow you ladies to go on, and then when it's gone on way too fucking long, I'll move on. But I will not be able to participate in that conversation should you all bring it up. It is free speech. This is a forum. There is a place. I just cannot comment on any of it due to my employment. Not that they said I can't. But I prefer not to. I prefer to remain extremely neutral because I have a tie into the show. So feel free, but I will step away. But we do take callers, 323-524-2599. I'll just be the referee at that point. Back is Durga McBroom, who, how are you, my love? What's going on with you?
I have lost 9 pounds in the last month. I have been exercising. I've been walking between 2 miles and 4.5 miles, 3-4 times a week. I did 1.5 today because I had to get back for the show.
I can see it in your face.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm drinking 1 liter. It's 3.5 liters a day of water. That's
you're not swooshing walking around.
Yeah.
No, and I feel really good. And in fact, I got my my first COVID shot the other day. And unlike a lot of my friends who felt really crappy for several days, my arm hurt for about 12 hours. I put a hot compress and kept drinking my water. And by the next morning, I was fine. So drink your water. And speaking of cats, I'm going to be fostering a cat starting next week, a little 4-month-old kitten. So that's going to be, yeah. So
okay, I'm like so like ADD right now. But you said, have you ever fostered a kitten before?
I've had cats all my life. And in fact, it's only the last few years that I haven't had one. The last cat I had was when I lived in Big Sur, and my husband accidentally left the door open a crack one night, and he got out and didn't come back. Yeah, he got eaten by a bigger cat, because that's usually what there. Because there's lions and bobcats up there, and it just broke my heart so bad. I sobbed for days, and I haven't had an animal since then, but I think I'm ready now.
Aw. And you got rid of the husband, so that's a good thing.
No, I didn't. He died.
You had him put down.
No. He passed away.
Died. I'm so sorry. I did know that. I'm sorry to make a joke.
It's okay.
I did know that, but I don't know why or how.
Well, does that really matter? It's kind of personal.
No. I realized I should have asked you.
Well, first of all, let me just explain one thing about Cara. She's a reporter as well, and you know how they are. They want to know every fact, everything. So
he died of end-stage liver disease. That's how,
I'm so sorry.
And it was really intense. So
and a long, slow passing.
It wasn't that long, actually. No, it really wasn't that long.
But you know what? It's that disease and a lot of other diseases. Some of them are so debilitating. You know, some of them take long, and you actually sometimes, no matter how much the loss is, sometimes you sit there and you go, "Thank God, it didn't take long." So you know,
yeah.
You know, and it's like I've never met him. I've known Durga for years. I never met your husband, but you know, he was from what you said, you know, as long as he made you happy and you were happy there, then he was good enough for me. So
that's sweet. He was a crazy son of a bitch. We all know it. The night we met, you and I, don't you remember? He was calling me like 20 times because he was jealous because I was doing Martha. And he was like, "What are you doing?" And I just had to turn my phone off.
Yeah, no, we were sitting. I remember that's when I had my office in my house before my mother moved in. I was sitting on the floor in my girl cave, and we were trying to have a conversation. And she's like, "Hold on."
No, we met at
Well, we met at the Martha thing. Yeah, that was first, but then following that, we were talking. And it was like, "Oh my God, tell him I don't want to fuck you. It's okay. I'm good. We're good. I don't, just because I'm a lesbian doesn't mean I want to sleep with every woman, not every single woman." And then now we move to joining us yet again, Vicki Wagner, comedian, author, whatever. She's amazing. Vicki Wagner.
Gaye Ann, first of all, let me tell you, I'm sorry to hear about Willie, and I've been sending good love for him, and I know exactly how you feel because I had 2 cats that got up there in age, and my one cat lived to be 21, Boo Boo, and my other cat lived to be 18. So I totally understand that. And Durga, here's to Mark, since we mentioned him, and I'm glad I did get a chance to meet Mark. He was a fabulous, extremely handsome, super sweet man, and hopefully that didn't bring any sad moments up for you, but Mark was a total guy. And
he loved you. He thought you were hilarious.
Oh, good. I'm glad. And I'm glad you guys came to a couple comedy shows at the Comedy Store to see me. And so, you know, what I've been up to, Durga and I actually talked this week, and we didn't even know it, but we were both, you know, trying to lose weight, and I lost 9 pounds as well, too. I'm not doing it. Thank you. Because I gained 10 pounds since October, since all the Halloween candy and all the Christmas candy, and then I was making those chocolate-covered strawberries for Valentine's Day. I swear to God, I ate so many of them, and then all of a sudden I'm 10 pounds heavier, and I'm like, what the hell? I already had to lose weight. But Gaye Ann, I want to tell you, the first time that I came back on the show a few months ago, and I think you said you lost 30 pounds. Yeah. I was so inspired by you. I was like, Gaye Ann looks effing great. Like, you know, you and I have known each other 20 years, I think. You look so good that I was like, I got to do something too. All these people I know are losing weight, looking great. I can't be gaining 10 pounds of chocolate covered strawberries. Come on.
You know what? I mean, here's the thing about, you know, weight. You know, I don't judge people. I don't. If they're happy, it's not about the outside. for me, and I'll segue into Ronnie in a second with this. For me, I didn't choose to lose weight. I just did, because I started working from home and I was eating healthier and doing like the proper thing. But for me, losing weight isn't about the physicality. It's about, as we get older, our bodies start to, no matter what we do, no matter what we put in, no matter what exercise, just in general, our bodies start to, I was going to say degenerate, but I guess that's a word, degenerate, and naturally, because that's the cycle. So, if someone's overweight, you're only contributing to any causes that you don't really need to suffer from as you get older, as the body is sort of declining or getting, whatever. So to me, I've lost 32 pounds, and I've lost another 5.
You look good.
But I'm still not skinny. I'm still not skinny. A friend of mine says you're anorexic.
No, you look good right now.
No.
You look good.
Yeah.
You don't look too
You
skinny.
look healthy.
You look just right.
And I say, when I was younger, and I never had an issue. I was like, not that anorexia is it's not funny. It is not fun. It is a disease, just like bulimia is a disease. And I'm thinking, well, I never wanted, because I think you have an issue, because you're losing so much weight. I'm like, but she goes, I think you may have an issue. You have a buddy. I said, look, I'm going to tell you something. I was heavy. I was a size 16. Okay. I've been there.
Wow.
And I looked
How
like,
tall are you, Gaye Ann?
5'1". So,
Yeah.
So I used to be that heavy, and I was lucky, even that heavy, I don't have any major health issues. But as I'm getting older, and I see that my mom is on dialysis, and she has these things, and my father died from some heart related issue. I'm looking at my history going, I don't want this to be me.
Right.
It may end up being me, but at least if I'm thinner and I'm this and I'm this and I'm this and I'm taking care of myself, maybe it won't affect me as badly as it did, my parents.
Right. Well, I'm a diabetic, so I have to get it under control and lose weight, because as you know, your mom's on dialysis, and I don't want to go that route.
Right, because usually, and a lot of people, like they still don't know why my mother is on dialysis. No idea. Okay. But a lot of people in the dialysis center are diabetics.
Right.
And I had no idea the correlation between kidney disease and diabetes.
Yep.
So that was eye-opening. But, again, I just say, people, it's not about, like that I'm superficial, or I like, fat shame people. I'm not. I have friends from everything, but, just for your own well-being and your own health, just
well, honestly, for me, I want to lose weight because I'm going to be, I had my 50th birthday this past year, and it was my COVID birthday. So I didn't get to do shit, of course. I took Kim to China for her 50th birthday. So my mom has a trip planned for us to go to Ireland and Scotland. And I'm like,
oh, you're going to love it.
I know, I've never been there. I'm 79% Irish. And my thought was, I do not want to sit in that little tiny plane seat for 9 hours. I've got to lose at least 30, 40 pounds before I go, fuck that. Because I don't want to be squished in there. And, you always get sat next to some big fat person or something. I do, at least. I'm so happy when I see a little skinny person come sit next to me. As a matter of fact, the last time I was on the plane by myself, so I was a little skinny. It was an Asian lady. I said, oh, would you like to sit here? I put her
so they get more room.
I was so happy she sat next to me, because I had a guy I sat next to one time. I swear he's like Jabba the Hutt. His fat was like leaning all up against me. It was like a giant hot pillow against me the whole plane ride.
Well, before we move on, because I want to continue with this conversation, I just love when it's just the girls. I want to introduce Ronnie, Ronnie Loiza. Only because I wrote it.
Understudy tonight. I counted 3.
So the thing is talking about health. Ronnie put together a series of women. Like an empowerment series, and I'll have her go in it, and she could talk about it. And she approached me, I'll tell Ronnie can tell you how we met, which we never really met in person, but she can take that story.
But we are going to this spring.
But we will, yes. And she approached me to be, one of the talkers, to interview on her show or, on her series.
It was fitness is your best asset. And it was all these people into nutrition, diet, everything that had to do with health and fitness, but mostly about the mindset, because it was the pandemic and all of a sudden there were these barriers and problems and people didn't want to work out at home. Gaye Ann, and I mean this as a compliment, was my one unfitness person. And it was great because so many people related to her. She was just like she said, I used to sit back and just eat and I still had muscle, but then she started just eating more or less clean and started walking, and she's living a real life. It wasn't like she was a gym rat or she hates the gym. And she said so on my interview. I hate the gym. I'm not going to the gym. And I loved it. It's like, yeah, because this is a real woman. Some women will work out at the gym. Some women will work out at home. She was the one that was saying, I ain't going to work out.
Period. Period. And I just don't do it. It's like Italians don't do that.
So how do you take care of yourself? So that's what we had to talk about.
My Italian trainer is so freaking hot. That was motivation to go to the gym. Are you kidding me?
But I've never liked it. I mean, I have ADHD. Okay. And I'm not on medication because I can't. It just doesn't. It just is so counterproductive for my job and the way I have to sort of think on the fly. It just handicaps me. I need to sort of be ADHD. So I've tried. Trust me, I've spent a lot of money on gym memberships, trying to be motivated. Went a few times, got the cute trainers, mostly women. That second motivation, whether they were gay or not. And I just found myself like on a bike or on a this or on a that, even with classes, getting bored off my ass. Oh, listen to the earphones. This is my music. I don't want to hear it. I'd rather be dancing. So it's not who I am, but I'm not going to lie and say, oh yeah, I lost weight and I go to the gym. I'm just blessed. I have really good muscle, not under here. This sucks. But on top, from the top up, I've got really good muscle tone and I always have. So, how I met Ron.
I look good from the top up too.
Yeah. I mean, I look okay from the bottom down, but not the best. I'm good from the waist up. And then they stop right here anyway, so I'm good. But Ronnie I met because out of the blue, did you Facebook Messenger me?
I DM'd you because I loved your posts, and I didn't know her, but I felt like I know. In social media, I'm like, you don't know these people, but you kind of do. And I said, I want your opinion, and I wanted her opinion on a title and tag for my summit. And she's like, call me. And so we talked. All of a sudden, she's like, mix with water, best friend. And because she's like that. She's giving. If she has a little time, she's giving. And so I held this series, and it was just all motivational plus health tips plus nutrition. But the reason I held it is because I'm a personal trainer. And I had all these women starting to talk to me at the end of their sessions, and we were all of a sudden Zooming. We were Zoom training, and they had friends and family and relatives, all women who were just glued to that Zoom working. And I think because at the beginning of this, remember, a lot of jobs were being, and so they didn't want to be indispensable. So they had no barriers. They were always working. And they were always answering emails. And all of a sudden the kids were working at home and the husband was working at home or the partner was at home. Everybody was working on the dining room table. And it was just a mess. And people weren't taking care of themselves. I'm 55, almost 56. The reason I became a trainer is because of my health. Because I think strong is sexy. And like today, I went from my one shot of Prolia for osteopenia because it's just genetics. I eat well, I do strength training, and I got into strength training because of my bone density. And I took off my shirt to show her my arm. And she's like, do you work out a lot? And I just started laughing. I'm like, I'm a fitness coach. And no, I'm not a gym rat and I don't overwork out. I work out every day. It's consistency. And I work out for my health because I don't want to get up in the morning and hurt. I just don't want to hurt. And I don't want to fall and break a hip. And
my new favorite morning word instead of good morning as I get up out of bed sometimes is oi. Just saying.
Oh, speaking of oi, wait, see if you can see this. Can you see
there we
this?
go.
That's my trainer.
Oh my goodness.
What? Hot.
Wow.
And yes, I did.
I mean, I even find him hot.
He is
Freaking
hot.
hot. And yes,
Yeah, he'd be good for squat thrusts.
Yeah, well, he was. Let's say that for sure. But he's got a girlfriend
right now, wherever you guys are. At first, I felt like I was coming out of a cave after 9 months, or like out of post-war. Like, oh, is it safe to go out? Now I'm starting to go up. It's like a lot of people are telling me they don't want to go back to the gym. It's kind of dirty with the hand sanitizers anyway,
Right.
and they're good at home. They bought their Pelotons and they bought their weights. And but same thing is like, are you guys starting to go out? Not that I was ever paranoid, but I've stayed in for the most part. But now it's like, what?
All I do is walk. That's all I've been doing is trying to do my 10,000 steps a day, and stay right around
You
there.
need to strength train if you have diabetes. I just got to tell you, because that's going to boost your metabolism.
No,
You
I
need to
know.
work your
And my
muscles.
doctor did tell me that too. And I've got to get on the bandwagon. But I,
little
come
bit.
this far, and I decided as of Monday that's what I was going to start.
There you
I
go.
didn't even
I
know
want
that
to
you
know
were gonna-
real life,
you know
not just working out. Is everybody starting to go out again because they've had their first shot or second
I
shot?
had my shot last week, but I won't get my second shot until April 8th. So I have to wait 2 weeks since, after that.
I've had my second shot and I've got one more week. So,
How are you feeling, Gaye Ann? Do you feel confident, to be around everybody now, or what?
you know what the answer is, let me explain my opinion. Just because you get the shots or the double shot, it doesn't mean you're immune. And
That's
I
right.
think that is an issue that I'm having with people. They think that the shot will make you immune. As a matter of fact, I heard that because of the new strains, we will be getting a booster shot.
Right.
So you're not immune. You still have to wear the mask. You still have to do what you do because you can still get it.
Right.
It's only if you can still be around a bunch of people that have it and still get it. What this is supposedly supposed to do is you can get it, but it's lessen the effects, kind of much like the flu shot or the pneumonia shot. It's preventative, but it's not immune. You're not immune.
But you know what I've been doing is I've been to 2 dinners. Well, one was a lunch and one was a dinner, where all of us went and got tested beforehand, and we all tested negative. And I know in the case of the first people that I went to, it was Lily Hayden, and her husband, and they test all the time. I found this great place on Cahuenga, between Franklin and Hollywood, and it's 30 minutes. You go in, it's $50. They swab you and they text you the results within 30 minutes.
Wow.
15 minutes. And then I went and saw one of my old childhood friends. Her mother is an actress, Joan Hotchkiss, who used to be on The Odd Couple. She was Oscar's girlfriend, and she was on several other things, but I hadn't seen her since I was a little girl. She's been fully vaccinated, but I made sure that I got tested before I went around her, and I tested negative. And before I was waiting for my test results, as I was in there, we all had our masks on. And as soon as I got the test results through, then we were all cool, and everybody else had been tested. So I've managed to start seeing people by doing that. Is it 100%? No, but it's like, if you're going to date somebody and
get an STD test.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to stop using condoms, then you both go get tested. It's like, okay, we can take them off.
Well, I missed out on all of that stuff. I just went for dinner in Malibu at sunset because you can.
Right.
So were you inside or outside? I don't want to go inside yet. I want to stay outside.
I agree with you.
Outside, yeah.
I'm fine. Before COVID, I prefer to eat outside. I don't know why. As long as they have heat lamps, because I get cold. As long as they have heat lamps, I'd rather eat al fresco than European restaurant. And I don't care where it is. So I'm not like worried to eat inside. I just would always prefer. My thing is not going to change. As long as they have an outside dining, I'm going to choose that. But how do I feel? I guess I did not do it for me. I probably would have not gotten the vaccine for a while to see how it's testing with other people.
Oh, wow.
I probably wouldn't have, because I've never been vaccinated for the flu or pneumonia. Never, 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 never.
Wow.
So, and it's not that I'm an anti-vaxxer. I just haven't done it. Never felt the need. I did it this time because my everybody that lives in my household, my roommate, she got her double, and she's older than 65. My mother obviously has a compromised system, and so I thought it was the right thing to do. That's, and I don't regret it. I mean, the first time I had a little bit of a headache and my arm hurt. The second time, I was exhausted. I mean, like I took a nap like for an hour. I know that's not a lot, but like my arm hurt like a SOB the second time. It really hurt more the second time. And I fell asleep for an hour. I never take a nap. I took a nap. It just happened.
I love naps.
Never took a nap.
And I get my shot every year too, Gaye Ann, because I'm a diabetic. So that your symptoms are about right that you're experiencing. And you don't forget, I used to be in the military, so I've had tons of vaccines. I mean, shots, and some of them just knock you out. So I applaud you because you're not a person that usually gets a shot. Because I've heard a lot of whiny crybabies. I don't want to get the second shot. It's going to make me sick. And it's like, well, do you want to be sick for a few days or a week, or would you rather be on a ventilator in a coma for 2 months? It's your decision.
And I didn't feel a thing. I was fine. And my second one's April 4th, and I'm not dreading it. It's like, okay, if I'm knocked out I'll be like Gaye Ann, I'll take a nap. I mean, I got my shot because of my husband. I'm being more responsible for them. I was never afraid of getting sick. I thought,
you can still be a carrier if you have the shot. It doesn't mean that you can't pass it on. Yeah. That doesn't have anything to do with it. That just means what Gaye Ann said is you get a less of an effect of COVID. Because 5 out of every 100 people who have both vaccines will get COVID. Because I just posted an article about that.
Sick. I thought, well, it'll be inconvenient. I don't mind being sick because I know I'm healthy enough. I'll come out of it okay. I didn't want to carry it. That's
You can carry it though. You can be a carrier if you've had both of your vaccines. You can carry it and give it to anybody else. That's why
it's like wearing seatbelts. We wear seatbelts. And we make people in our cars wear seatbelts, if not only to save our own lives, but so that we aren't ejected out of the car through the windshield of somebody else's car and kill them. And is a seatbelt going to save you from getting in an accident? No. But could it save your life? Yeah. Hell yeah. And airbags too.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you guys, some of you have to because you're performers. You have to go in person. But are you guys going back to the offices or back to where you work? My girlfriends who were office workers, they're saying they don't need to. They've set up their offices. They're good. They're productive, and they have even more time to run the errands, be with their kids. And it's like they're telling the HR people, it's like no, because some people they're being called back in 2 or 3 times a week, and they're going, we don't need to. Maybe 2 or 3 times a month to be sociable. What are your friends up to, or what are you guys up to? Are you going to go back, or are you going to?
My job, I mean, I work obviously at a corporation. I find it very difficult to work from home. Probably because of the ADHD. I'm like, there's so much going on because I do have a mother. There's stuff going on. So when I go to the office, it's sort of in my head, it's like I'm able to compartmentalize and do office. And here, I mean, I've gotten better at it. Like in the beginning, I was completely flustered and couldn't figure the shit out. I was like hyperventilating because I don't know what I'm doing here. But the reality is, I mean, a lot of corporations are talking about like a hybrid format where you go in, 3 times a week. And I am so looking forward to that. And I think a lot of companies are saying initially it's going to be voluntary. Voluntary to go into the office. Yeah. And then, we may, sift into, the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or the Tuesday, Thursday, or whatever it is. I'm happy to do that. Although I have to say because of my job and I'm on set and I've got photo shoots, I've never been precluded from going to the office if I needed to go to the office, as long as I was tested. And God knows I get tested 1 million times a week. Yeah. As long as I'm tested, I'm allowed to go into the office because I forgot something or or my computer's faster at the office. So I'd rather just do that there. So I kind of have been doing in a way that hybrid, like going in when necessary. I actually like that, to go in when I want to, not because I have to.
That's it. Yeah.
Nice.
That's what a lot of people I've been hearing. They don't, like you said, they don't want to go back into the office. And a lot of the corporations are finding out it's a lot cheaper to have the people work from home.
What a surprise.
Yeah. Well, I do. I want to go back to the office because my office is a stage.
Exactly.
Right. Oh, goodness.
And I will say the main reason I got vaccinated is because I'm desperately trying to rent my apartment here. I have had so much trouble during this pandemic getting somebody in here. And in fact, if anybody knows of somebody looking for a really nice 2-bedroom apartment that I only come back to 1 month out of the year, and the rest of the time they have it all to themselves in prime West Hollywood, rent control, send them my way. But I got my vaccine because I've heard that a lot of the airlines are floating the idea of having people have vaccination cards in order to be able to travel internationally. And I don't want to be like ready to get out of here and then not be able to fly. So
you give you a card. FYI, when you get the vaccines, they give you a card.
Yeah.
I know.
Supposed to carry around. Oh, okay. So
I think we've all been vaccinated, all of us, right?
What?
Everybody here tonight has been vaccinated, right?
No.
One time. My second's coming up.
Yeah, but we all had our first, right?
No.
Oh, well, I'm pretty happy to hear that almost a lot of the people that I do know are getting their first shot. So it is making its way to us, getting more and more shots to where more people are having it. And then we've got to get to herd mentality, basically.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Well, one thing I have to say, I went to Cal State LA to get my shots, and I did a drive-through for both my mom. I mean, I was there twice in a week because I couldn't get my mother in my appointment.
Graduated from there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Cal State LA. Sorry, Cal State LA. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I got my degree in political science from there.
Okay. So I have to say, we did the drive-through, and it's a FEMA site, and the Army was there. They were there. They're the ones who were giving the injections. And I have to say, it was so well done and well thought about and well organized. And I mean, like I got there and they were so lovely. And it's like, I remember keep saying, thank you for your service. Just thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. And, and it's like, nobody was thanking them, and it just bothered me and I was like, I want to just say thank you. Thank you for everyone that in the military doing whatever you guys are doing. I have a friend, Dealey. She is a physician, and I guess she's not on active duty, but they took her. I don't know the terminology, but she was not in active duty, but they brought her back.
She's on reserve. She's a reserve.
I don't know the term. Vicky may know,
but that's what it is.
Okay, so they brought her back to deal with stuff like this with COVID. And I have to say, I just want to thank everyone. You too, Vicky, of course, because you're part of us. But thank you, everyone, boots on the ground now, doing what you can do for your service. Everything else you've done, not in this country, that's every single one of you should get a Medal of Honor for everything that you've done. But I also think that what you're doing, and I think the military, quite frankly, is the best group to sort of get this shit together and get it done right. So thank you, everyone in the military.
Good for them.
The health workers. My mom was a nurse and my dad was a doctor, and they've since passed. But man, when you think of all these people, the front line, they're gonna have PTSD. I mean, they've been dealing with a lot of crap. So we got to thank them too. When I see doctors and nurses leaving their shifts, their 16-hour shifts, I feel like going, thank you for your service.
Right. All the healthcare workers.
But they are. I mean, really, everyone that, they're on the front line, everybody that's on the front line.
Just all the tragedy that they've seen too, when you hear these stories, it's heartbreaking that they go into work and then, people are just dying and dying and dying. And then, like you said, there's anti-vaxxers out there. There's people who don't want to wear their masks. There's people who still don't believe in it. It's funny that Donald Trump said, hey, don't be worried about COVID, but yet he went and got his vaccine in January. It's like, why don't you tell all your idiot followers that you got your vaccine so that they could go get theirs too, that it's real, and you should be afraid of it. I mean, like, what, almost 600, what are we at right now? Almost 600,000 people have died of this thing?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Have each one of you traveled this year?
I have not yet.
Nope.
I have. Well, I flew up to Sacramento. When was that? God, it was about a little over,
maybe 6 months ago?
When did I come?
Like 6 months ago, I think.
Yeah. And because there was like hardly anybody on the plane. I wore a mask the whole time.
I haven't traveled yet, and I'm traveling to Texas of all places. But thank God we'll have our shots by then, May 24th. And we postponed it twice during this year. And we're going to Houston, we're going to Dallas. And I asked my friend, how's the situation in Dallas? She's like, oh, it's been horrible for a year. I haven't wanted to be here. Nobody wears masks. Nobody believes in it. But by then, everybody will be starting to get, a lot of people in Texas are not getting vaccinated.
Oh, they're not. Because, look, it's Texas. I mean, I was going to go out of town the first I was going to go out of town actually this week. I was going to go Tuesday through Friday with a couple of my friends. They own a house in Vegas. I was going to go, and I was not going to drive. I was going to fly. But then, I mean, I didn't go because of the cat, but I booked my ticket. So I didn't go. I mean, I have a trip scheduled possibly to go in July to Sedona. And then
beautiful.
I just booked a trip to Thailand.
Wow.
For 2022. We're going to be frolicking with the elephants. It's a place called Bamboo Travel, and it's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks.
Nice.
And you do fun stuff, but you actually like go to like the elephant compound and you like shovel shit and feed them. And then you go to these towns. It's kind of like Habitat for Humanity in a way, you know, but mixed with some fun. So I just booked it. I mean, I did get insurance for other reasons besides, you know, I'm afraid just in case, God forbid, something with mom. But, and it's nothing that I've ever wanted to do. I've never wanted to go to Thailand, but that trip sounds so amazing.
I want to go to Thailand.
Huh?
I thought you were going to say I never wanted to shovel shit.
No, trust me, I shovel shit daily, but metaphorically and, you know, truly. But
it's not like picking a cat scoop up and getting your cat crap out of the cat box.
I can't wait. I mean, the thing I first said is, oh shit, I can't have nails. I've got to cut that down because this is a working trip. And so I did that. I mean, I do want, you know, like I said, I don't know, with last time I had two of my cousins pass away a couple of weeks ago in Italy from COVID. You know, a mother and a daughter, you know, she was 88, not understandable, but you know, she's older, but her daughter died like a month before. And she was only 60, and COVID affected her liver and she didn't have any problems. And affected her liver, gone. And then her husband had it, but he recovered and he's home. And her mom, Rena, was in the hospital and sort of like coming on the good way, like coming over the hump. But then she did have heart disease and she had a heart attack. So, So the thing is, you know, COVID, yes, you could talk about COVID, the symptoms, but once it gets in your system, it can affect other pre-existing conditions. You know? I've heard.
Did you hear about that little boy? He's like 6 years old. He had both of his hands and his feet amputated.
Yep.
He's 6. He didn't even have diabetes. He doesn't have heart problems. He doesn't have liver problems. He's a little healthy boy. And there was a man down in San Clemente where my mom lives. The same thing happened to him. He had to have both of his hands amputated. So it affects everybody differently. You know, it's not just people are like, oh, like my Kim's nephew said, oh, only the old fogies are dying. I said, that's not true. I said, because, you know, sometimes the side effects are worse than death. I mean, dying could be the best thing that could happen to you.
Yeah. We have a caller. I want to just cut everybody off for a second because we do have a caller. I'd like to take a caller. Hello. Welcome to Between the Sheets. Who's calling?
Hi, my name is Diana Powers.
Hi, Diana.
Hi, Diana.
Hi. Hey, Diana. Hi, Vicki.
Hi, girl. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right. Now, this is a lady who she lives up in Seattle, and going to give a good shout out to her, you know, because she's battling cancer right now. And I want to just tell you that we all sending you lots of love.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you.
And I'm in Seattle right now.
Oh, right now, well, rain.
Shocking, priceless, unbelievable. So how is everything with you, Diana? Do you have questions? Do you want to add to the convo?
Yeah, well, I was just going to give my 2 cents on the COVID shots and the anti-vaxxers and deniers of the COVID period. And well, like Vicki said, I just diagnosed with breast cancer in the middle of the summer last year, in the middle of COVID. And so I've had 2 surgeries, and I've had a double mastectomy on January 6th this year, on the fateful day of January 6th. And anyways, now I'm now a month into my chemo, and I come from a very conservative family, and they're all Trump voters and whatever not. And so they don't believe in the COVID. and they don't believe in wearing masks, and they don't believe in the shots. They're not taking the shots. And I've already been, obviously, had my 2 shots already because I had to have them before I started chemo. And so I was on the phone with my mom, and I was like, why aren't we, this morning, and I said, why aren't, one of my brothers is sick, and one of my in-laws, one of the sister-in-laws is sick. And I said, is it COVID? Because it sounds like COVID. And they're like, well, did they get tested? Well, no, they're not going to do that. What? They're just going to write it out. And I'm like, why don't they get tested? And I said, one of them's supposed to be going to Hawaii in 2 weeks. And I said, you realize they're going to get tested before they fly.
Mm-hmm. Is that something that you have to do now? You have to be tested?
Yes, for Hawaii, you have to be tested.
Anyway.
Yeah. And I said, that doesn't make sense because she's going to get there and she's going to test what if she tests positive? Then she can't go on a trip that they've been planning forever.
Right.
You know?
That's true, but
stupid thinking.
She's going to have
and then I said, and they won't wear masks. They won't wear masks because they make it completely political. And it's like, this isn't a political issue. I just like, and I said, think of it this way. I said, you know how one of my nephews had leukemia, and he just got over leukemia 2 years ago, 21 years old. And I said, you know how we had to wear masks around him for just while he was wearing chemo or while he was going through chemo, and we had to really, wash our hands and do all that stuff, and we couldn't actually hug him. So I said, it's exactly the same thing. And so it's exactly the same thing with me. I said, don't you, if you're not going to do it for yourself, can't you do it for me? And they're like, that's just silly. You're not going to get sick. And I'm like, but you can't.
You said that to your family members who won't wear masks?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Even when they come around you, they'll come in your presence and they won't put a mask on knowing that you're going through chemo?
No. Oh. Well, and this is what I said. I told him, I said, well, I haven't seen him in probably, oh my gosh, since I've been diagnosed. So that was by like 8 months ago that I was diagnosed, and or 9 months ago maybe, and I haven't seen them. And I just moved up here from California, and I've been wanting to see them, but then COVID happened, and so I haven't been able to go see them. Wow. And so and
that's
so
very
I
selfish
said, well,
of them.
and so that's exactly, Vicki. That's what I said. I said, you know what this sounds like? I said, this is selfish talk right now. And how do you figure? And I said, because you know how that makes me feel? I said, I want to desperately see my parents. I want to see my siblings. I said, I desperately want to see you guys. It's just for the support and the like, you got this, Diana, I don't necessarily need it that much, but it just feels good to know that your family has your back,
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we're not going to wear it. And I said, well, you know what that makes me feel like? You would rather not wear a mask and because of political reasons than see your own daughter just to give me a hug or even just say, hey, across the room to me, see me live, I said that you're being selfish, that you love not making your statement rather than seeing your own daughter or your sister, it's completely selfish. And they won't get the shot because they're just going to write it out. If I'm sick, I'm sick.
Well, the thing is, unfortunately, this isn't just a writing out. It's not something that's going to go away. This may be a vaccine that will continue to be offered annually. And
just like the flu shot.
Exactly. And as I said earlier, and I don't know if you were listening, I'd read that because of it quickly mutates, there's many strains, that even though we have the 2 shots, we'll probably have to get booster shots.
Right. A booster. So, right. I heard you say that.
I don't understand. Look, I will never, because I am not a Trumpist. I am not, I just don't understand it. And I am not, honestly, I don't want to waste. I'm just unfortunate with your situation. That's family and that hurts. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of explaining to people who are deaf ears, and I don't wish them harm. I don't. I hope they skate
That's true.
through this without any COVID, anything. But the likelihood,
Exactly.
probably not. But I've learned that I agree to disagree. I will not waste my time. I just can't convince people. Like I said earlier,
Right.
I am not an anti-vaxxer. I just never found the importance of vaccine. And I've been fortunate. I've been fortunate not to have gotten the flu and not to have gotten pneumonia. So, yeah, you can go with that false sense of, hey, I haven't done it, but it doesn't mean I'm never going to get it. But on the flip side, I'm in pretty good health. So a flu will not kill me. Pneumonia will not kill me.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Well, kill me.
You don't know that. You can be
Right.
the healthiest person.
But a high risk person like myself, that a flu can kill me.
Absolutely.
Hey, Diana,
It's like my mother's doctor used to tell me when she moved in with me, because she's highly compromised. He said, you should get a flu shot. You live in the same house. And I remember she got the flu shot one year, and like not that long, she was in the hospital with the flu and pneumonia, and she had both shots. And I'm saying to him, and she's almost dying. And I'm like, well, what the fuck did that do? Nothing. And he said, I mean, she just got it. I mean, what the fuck, man? What's this? And he said, it's not, again, it is not immune. But if your mother did not have those shots, she'd be dead right now. Plain and simple.
All right.
Right.
Exactly.
Plus, Gaye Ann, the flu shot that you get only protects against the most dangerous flu of that year. So we have about 1,000 different flus every single year, different strains of it, and you're supposed to get it. As a diabetic, and I go to the VA, the veterans, they make me get a flu shot every year, and they tell me the same thing. There's 1,000 different types of flu. We're going to protect you against the most dangerous one. So, like your mom, with your mom, God, she didn't die.
Right.
Hey, Diane, what support system do you have? Because it's awful. It sucks that your parents are just so set on this.
Yeah, I have.
That's on them, not you. But...
two really, really wonderful children, and I live with my daughter and her fiance, and they're both their partners are excellent. One's a doctor.
Okay.
Excuse me. So it really works out. It's all worked out really well as far as that goes. And I have an uncle and an aunt that used to be nurses. They're retired nurses that they help me. They take me everywhere and take me to my chemos and this and that. And my kids.
Do reach out to your friends.
So I have a lot of good system on this side of the mountain. All the other side of the mountain is where they all live. So
what?
They're about 2 hours away.
Probably better off that they're on the other side of the mountain.
But you need to tell them that. Tell them viruses don't fucking vote.
That's right.
They don't care.
Right.
Exactly.
Well,
oh my gosh.
Well,
exactly.
Diana,
but I just told him. I said, well, I guess I won't be able to see you for a while then.
And it's
and I didn't even get like oh no, we'll figure something out. I gotta okay.
But you know what, Diana, you've got a really good family. You've got a support team. Those people matter.
Oh yeah.
The ones there, and that's where you concentrate, your stuff with. I mean, whatever happens to them, and I know if it's a family member, parents or whatever, it's tough. But you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Right. And the reality is, if they drank the Kool-Aid, that's where they're at. So I would not waste your energy, considering you're in the situation that you're in. I would not, spiritually, I would ask you not to waste your energy on that negativity. Focus on the positivity, your health, your healing, and the people around you that are giving your positive vibrations. That's what you need to feed off of, and not deal with that.
Yeah, I really have a positive outlook on myself, on my whole self of everything I'm going through. I had a pity party at the very beginning, and then now I thought, if I'm going to sit here and cry and get upset and say, why me? What's that going to do for me? It's not going to do me any good, and
you do have a really good outlook on it, because I've never met Diana in person, but she's a really good Facebook friend and followed all my, when I was doing the 7 o'clock stories and everything. And Diana, you have a great outlook, because when she had her mastectomy, she had a funny conversation between another one of my Facebook friends and called it her FOOB, her fake boob, and FOOB. I thought that she's like, oh, what if my food fell out? And I was like, oh my God, it's so great that you can actually joke about this. And like you said, move on from that.
Well, yeah. I mean,
well,
you have to joke, you
well,
know.
Diana, I want to thank you for calling in, sharing your story, being vulnerable and open and honest. And we all wish you, beautiful blessings and health always.
Thank you.
And, I look forward to, you can friend me on Facebook because I'd love to follow your journey. So thank you.
Awesome. All right. No problem. And I just want to say thanks, Vicki, for all your support. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Definitely. Anytime. I love you, girl.
Okay. All right. Okay. Love you too.
Night. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
I mean,
Bye.
like with COVID, we hear about the death, the dying, the devastation. And, it's so wonderful to me that you can off balance it by some positive stories and inspirational stories and things that people are going through. I mean, because I think, with such dark clouds, it's so lovely to have, to see the balance of positivity and light and really inspiration and hope. And I think, with Biden,
planted journalism.
Right. But I mean, like with Biden I felt a whole big cloud lifting, you know what I mean? And I think we all, and I'm not saying, look, I can't say I hate Trumpists. I don't know them. I don't know them to hate them. I disagree with them. I think they're misguided. But then I look on the other side, they're saying the same thing about us. So, it's strange, but true.
I think a divided country.
It is. But you know what? And then hopefully, we're getting closer to not be divided. I think, one would think that the pandemic.
I don't